It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And we'll see Garrett Wilson. Big plays follow him around. He comes in second in the NFL in receiving yards. It's the Jets and the Titans. All that and more coming up next.
Just off the east bank of the Cumberland River and across the water from the Tennessee State Capitol building, there's a look at Nissan Stadium in Nashville. It is Week 16 in the NFL, and we've got a good one in store, as it'll be the New York Jets taking on the Tennessee Titans. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we take a look at this Titan Ball Club entering play. They come in feeling good after back-to-back victories.
And if you look back to last week, it was all about their defense. Anytime you hold an NFL team to single digits, that's saying something.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Jets, they're in a real groove of late. Winners of 5 of their last 6 games.
And the offense, my goodness, over 50 points in the win last weekend. When you do that, you're not going to lose very many games, maybe not any games.
The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. So the Titans set to go to work for the first time. And a glance here at the man calling the plays under center, their 6'4 quarterback.
I like this guy, and the reason I do, he tends to stay on an even keel, doesn't let too much ruffle him. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
So the drive's going to start with Pollard. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up second down. Here's Pollard again. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. That's a first down pickup for Tennessee on a gain of 10.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
From the 32 now, here's first and 10. Levis back to throw. And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete. You talk about this Jets defense. They were terrific last week in the win over Denver.
And the big difference in the game, their ability to force turnovers. Multiple, in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, the big difference in the game.
It was impressive. Now the question, can they duplicate it? Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
Nice back-to-back plays defensively. They're stacking momentum now. One incompletion, two incompletion. They're going for more.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Now Levis. Trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. Sauce Gardner picks it off, and the Jets are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. Remember, Charles, this is the #1 defense in the NFL, and they prove their mettle here, forcing the turnover on the opening possession.
And sometimes when you play a team that has that reputation, it's earned it by their play. The psychology is, okay, they're #1. They have to prove it to us, and they tried to attack. They found out that that ranking was real.
And if history is any indication, when this defense gets off to a good start, look out.
Yeah, their offense plays off of them awfully well, too.
Rodgers and the Jets now with a 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. The play fake, he'll look to throw. He finds his man, complete. That's Hall. And he'll take this from 147-yard line to the other, a gain of 6.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
First carry for the Iowa State man, Breece Hall. And good space to operate there as he takes this down inside the 35-yard line. That's good for a Jet first down, a gain of 13.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long after.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. It's Roger McCreary with a pick. And the Titans will have the football as this is taken up past the 30. So consecutive interceptions here early on in this one, and maybe setting the tone, Charles, for a game where the defense really takes center stage.
And don't you think that both offenses are really catching a bit from their coaching staff about avoiding these turnovers that we've seen early? I think both teams are trying to find an advantage. We know that. Can one of them break away and take control of this game?
And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season-open opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. Ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I'd missed him, it would have been a different story. Long night.
Levis to throw it. Throw here taken in by Riley, the tight end. This defense for the Jets, they were terrific last week in the win over Denver.
Yeah, they held them completely out of the end zone, just held them to a field goal. So they're not just hoping for a repeat here. They're hoping to do it even better. A shutout is their goal.
Trying to run forward with Pollard. And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45.
Well, that was big right there because they're in the bottom 5 in the league in converting on third down. They needed that pickup in a big way.
There were two things they said they wanted to win in this game. One, the turnover battle, and the second, third down conversions. So they got one there. First down, and it's Pollard again. And down inside the 40 to about the 38. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed. But they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does. It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
So after some runs, now they'll throw with Levis. The hook up on the right side to Hopkins. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. Now Levis keeps it option left. Down to the 25. He'll wind up getting 3 on the keeper there, but it leads to a 3rd down. We're scoreless after 1. Ready for the second quarter from Tennessee, and it's the homestanding Titans in possession as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. 3rd and short. It's Levis. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. So on comes Cairo Santos now for the field goal try. Kicking into a headwind here in the second quarter. Santos' kick is up and through. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And he won't quite make it to the 25. Back onto the field come the New York Jets for their second drive. Their second drive here of the ballgame, Charles. Remember last time they threw the interception, but the defense held up. It bent a little but didn't break, only giving up the 3 points.
Yeah, obviously they left some points on the table there their last time out, but boy, they have to thank their defense for holding the opposition just 3 after they threw the pick. Their turn now. Back out on the field, put together a good drive, and get some points of their own.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent. And that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. And a stoppage here. We're going to need to take a moment as a Jet was shaken up on that one. But not what you want to see this late in the season. Medical staff is going to check on him, and we'll step aside for a moment. They fake the give. Now Rodgers. He's got his target. That's complete. Oh, what a move. It's a big play there for the Jets on 3rd down. 49 yards.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, and once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. On the end around, here comes Williams. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Another Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a first down again.
And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, how about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys who can't move and more guys who are a lot more mobile and can get out in front of that type of a play.
On play action, Rodgers to the goal line, but it's incomplete. So an incomplete pass a moment ago, and that leads to 2nd and goal. They'll try to run with Hall. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. Breece Hall, his 16th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Jets have taken the lead. Now Greg Zuerlein on for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it 7-3. So the drive there took 6 plays. And it was capped off by a Breece Hall touchdown run. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. Here's Tennessee ready to begin this drive offensively. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense.
Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a Jet touchdown. Make it back-to-back weeks now with a pick 6 for him. He had 1 week ago.
Talk about being in the groove, and what are the odds of what we're seeing right here? You don't see it happen very often. Listen, if you get a pick 6 in a season, it's been a big year, let alone back-to-back weeks. Tell you this, I wouldn't play cards against this guy in the locker room.
Zuerlein now for the PAT. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Taken at the goal line. And they'll be backed up to start this drive as he's taken down right around the 15. Tennessee offense set to go again. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
So the pick 6, and now Levis right back to the air. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, but they've got this one up to the 35-yard line. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down.
And that was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver, although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
Pretty solid run here on first down. Almost picked up another first, but he appears to be a few inches short.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a one-time running play and create extra space, you've got to hit the jackpot there.
2 yards, good enough for a first. Levis looking to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. The Titans efficient passing on this drive. There's another first down.
I know you're trying not to scoreboard watch, but you only got 3 points. You're kind of hoping that type of play there gives you some positive momentum going into the half.
Yeah, need to do something to get more than that 3 number that they have on the scoreboard right now. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Here's Levis. Over the middle, it's complete. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
And Levis tosses his 3rd interception of the game. Picked off by DJ Reed. And the Jets are going to have it here at their own 15. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
The Jets taking over again. Breece Hall making his way out with the offense. You look at the numbers on the year, up over 1,100 yards now, and the last drive had a touchdown as well. Everybody offensively just seems to be in cohesion, don't they?
They do, and when you look at this rushing total, and you know at the end of the year, that means gifts for the big guys up front.
He's got a man, complete. Big yardage that time for the Jets. 49 yards.
Already over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That catch is just going to add to his total. Certainly not resting on his laurels. He's trying to continue to gain as many yards as possible and continue this big season.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Now a play fake. Rodgers going right back to Wilson. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. Give him back-to-back catches now. That one for 16 and another 1st down. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And he's going to take it in for a Jets touchdown. Breece Hall with his 2nd touchdown here in this 1st half. And the Jets are able to widen their advantage. So his strong 1st half continues as he finds the end zone here for the 2nd time.
And definitely good blocking at the point of attack. And you just have to love watching the way he can create space down near the goal line. And he's able to take it into the end zone.
Now Zerline on to add the extra point. And it's 21-3. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it was capped off by a Breece Hall touchdown run. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Titans going to go back on offense here late in this 1st half. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the 2nd half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
The Titans going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the 1st half. Here's a screen now for Pollard. And take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. The Titans efficient passing on this drive. There's another 1st down. Back to throw, it's Levis. And an off-balance throw there, and it's going to wind up incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game. that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
2nd and 10. Here's Levis. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd. So a couple of first downs on this drive, but it's looking like another empty possession.
And those empty possessions are certainly starting to pile up. So the adjustments that teams talk about all the time have to be taking place. They've got to analyze what's breaking down and figure a way to fix it.
Well, once again, here comes Garrett Wilson in the Jets offense, making his presence felt early in this one. First half, already over the century mark.
How about the yards per completion, too? That's a pretty darn good number there. Number of catches, but he's shredding defenses, getting big yardage with each and every one of them.
They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Play action. Now it's Rodgers. And incomplete on the deep ball.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. This time they stay on the ground. And they'll indeed stop him on 3rd down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. Here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. And we'll see what he can do on the return. So we've reached halftime with the visiting Jets on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. The weather might be cold, but the playoff races are heating up here on this final Sunday before Christmas. So let's get to it. We'll begin down in South Florida, Indianapolis in town to take on Miami. And a touchdown separating these two as they've gone to halftime. Tua with a touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill. From there, we'll keep the Florida theme going as we head north to check on the Jags at home in Jacksonville. And this one going the visitors' way as the Texans have the lead in that one. Joe Mixon has a run for a touchdown. Lastly, we head to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough to check on the Patriots. As you can see the score there in the 2nd quarter. Khalil Shakir, a touchdown reception. We were treated to a solid first half out of the running back, Breece Hall. He had a nose for the end zone as he wound up with 2 touchdowns on the ground in those first 2 quarters. Final adjustments being made in both locker rooms. We're just about ready for the second half. And for the call, let's get you back up to Nashville, Music City, and Brandon Gott.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And the Jets set to receive this 3rd quarter kickoff, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in the second half. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Here's the Jets offense now getting set to start off this 3rd quarter. Rodgers and the Jets now with a 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. This one finds Wilson downfield. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Hall on a give up the middle. He'll get this up to about the 44. And hold on here because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. Always unfortunate to see an injury, especially this close to the end of the regular season. We'll step aside. Here's 2nd and 7. On play action, it's Rodgers. That's going to be caught downfield by Lazard. And he'll be ridden out of bounds all the way down at the 15-yard line. Big yardage that time for the Jets. 41 yards.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. Running left, it's Hall. Trying to turn the corner, but they string him out and stop him at the line of scrimmage. And quickly, they get to the line. Now Rodgers on the bootleg. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Trying to get their tight end involved finally. That's the first time that they've looked his way. He's kind of been a forgotten man in this offensive scheme.
Yeah, didn't look his way at all in the first half. And I'll bet you the offensive coordinator made a note at the half and said, let's get him involved because he could be a big-time playmaker for us.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. They'll set up the screen for Hall. He juked him. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. The screen does get him 9, but it also brings up a 4th down.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the 1st down.
Rodgers to throw for it on 4th. Toward the pylon, caught. Touchdown. Mike Williams, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Jets take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. It took a pretty big risk right there going for it on 4th down, but hey, not only did they get the 1st down, forget about that, they got in the end zone.
Yeah, because normally you're just thinking, can I get enough yardage to get it past the sticks and pick up a 1st down? Instead, they go for the end zone and get it done with no margin for error. Remember, 4th down, they went for it.
Zerline connects on the extra point, and they open the lead up now to 25. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. Here's Antonio Gibson. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Titans offense gears up for their first possession of the 2nd half. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the 2nd half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
Hey, partner, you know as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
3rd and 3. Gonna run again here with Pollard. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 70 yards on the ground here for Pollard. This is a 1st down. Levis. That pass taken in by Burks. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. From the 46-yard line, a 2nd down and 6. A give to Pollard running left. He can't get him down. And a low past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. 13 yards is the pickup for Tennessee and a first down.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
First and 10. Here's Levis. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Jermaine Johnson make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And he coughed it up. But it looks like one of the DBs has it. And they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line. But he has been a workhorse for them in this game, and ball security hasn't been an issue until that point. Yeah, and let's face it, when he's going to carry the ball that many times, he becomes more and more of a target for the defense, knowing that he's going to be the primary guy. They'll just send more and more players towards him, trying to make sure they knock the ball free. Another go-around now for the Jets offense. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game. And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end. And because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. On play action, now Rodgers. This defense trying to do its part, active hands on that play, but their offense hasn't given them much to work with. So they're not going to worry about it. On their side of the ball, all they're concerned about, can they create some scoring opportunities and help out that offense? Here's a give to Hall. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. This is the National Football League. Back now in Nashville. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And a fair catch called for and made just outside the 15-yard line. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return, and it'll be Titan football. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. Their mini 2-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest. Back to the air on 2nd down, Levis. This pass complete to Pollard on the out route, and he's able to get up here to the 26. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. Levis to throw it. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete. At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. They'll run for it with Pollard. And he loses the football a second time. And it looks like one of the DBs has it. And they are going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter. Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. New York set to take the field. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number one for what we've seen this season.
They'll run with Hall. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7.
Holding. Offense.
Yeah, so they get that one, Charles, on the right tackle.
Oftentimes in that spot, you're trying to work against a defender, trying to set the edge in the running game, and you're trying to drive around and get your body twisted so that he can't get there. Sometimes your hands get too involved.
Yeah, he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. Aziz Al-Shair in to make the stop.
Well, obviously, they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead, now, they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now. They fake the give. Now Rodgers. And, it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Caleb Farley. And the Titans are going to get it back here just shy of the 20. Now they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. As this one moves towards its conclusion, another incomplete pass there. Thoughts on the secondary? I mean, they seem to be pretty effective in this one.
Yeah, I thought that they've been absolutely outstanding. I mean, their job is to prevent touchdowns, and not a single touchdown is going on the board against them. Of course, they want to make it a total shutout, but hey, if you don't give up touchdowns, you got a heck of a chance to win.
Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down. Levis back to throw. Forced out to his left. And he'll slide to a halt here. Still a little shy of the 1st down marker. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble. And it's 2nd down. Now Levis. Looking left side. It's complete. He's got it. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. The Titans get 14 yards there and move the chains as well. So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Levis sets up to throw here. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 19 yards there on the catch and run. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Titans in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Levis to throw on 1st and 10 here. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. Just a gain of a couple there, and it's 2nd down. Levis looking to throw.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
8th play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on 3rd down. They'll throw it again with Levis. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it It's incomplete.
Give them credit for excellent coverage, tight coverage. They're doing a lot of things that we talk about in basketball. They're causing disruptions in the passing game. And as long as that continues, it'll be tough for them to gain any momentum throwing the ball downfield.
Desperation time now. Here's Levis. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Sauce Gardner picks it off. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a Jet touchdown. That right there, Charles, is your exclamation mark. They already had the nice lead on their way to a victory, but one final touchdown here to widen the margin late in the 4th quarter.
Let's make it pretty simple. When you can seemingly score at will, why wouldn't you take advantage of being in that zone and getting one more to cap off this game?
Zerline. Oh, they pitch to the tight end. It's a fake. And that one goes virtually nowhere. Tried to fake extra point, but nothing comes of it.
Well, I have to admit, I'm scratching my head a little bit here trying to make sense of what I just saw. Number one, huge lead. Just kick the extra point and be done with it. Number two, if you are going to go for two, just line up and go for it from the 2-yard line. Why make it so difficult? That's a long way to go to try and pick up some points.
And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. Facing a big 4th quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, well, their defense has really struggled. So the pick 6, and now Levis right back to the air. The hook up on the right side to Hopkins. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down. Back to throw, it's Levis. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
Levis now on 2nd down. And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. Hassan Reddick buries him for a loss of 11 from his outside linebacker spot.
Talk about two sides of the ball at cross purposes, because mercifully this game's almost over for the offense, but the defense, they still want to get a few shots in. That front 7, they've loved this ball game. They've been able to pad their stats, and maybe some backups can get in and get a sack as well.
So it's a victory here for the New York Jets, and it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the 2nd quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for the Jets, they'll hit double digits with their 10th win of the year, and they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Tennessee, this loss really hurts their playoff chances as they drop to 7-8 with 2 games left. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week.